Well, it could be a huge crime deterrent or a privacy risk. Flock cameras are popping up all over the country. And here with what we should be considering when it comes to capturing the public on camera is privacy expert Jody Daniels. So thanks for being here. Tell me, I've seen this in the headlines a bit, but I haven't done much research. So what are flock cameras and why is this trend happening now?
Sure. Well, flock cameras are cameras that are put up most often at a neighborhood entrance, maybe along a roadway or in front of an office park. And they're capturing license plate data and also vehicle data, which is then fed back to police to help capture criminals. And with the rise in crime, everyone wants to be able to solve what has happened. The technology is able to help law enforcement solve those crimes faster with that information. As we're going to talk about, there are also some privacy risks that we want to dive into. And Flock is also, it's not the only one, it's a leading contender. And it's a private organization. So I know we're going to talk a little bit about what does that mean for you and I as we're driving down the street.
Okay, got it. So we actually just had a sheriff from one of the counties around here, and they're doing a similar program in this new development up there in Madera County. So being a security expert, what are the pros and cons of this technology?
Right. Well, let's take that neighborhood and let's pretend that's a private neighborhood. I have the camera in front. Someone in the neighborhood is the admin, the administrator of that feed and sets everything up, which means that person also has visibility into all the cars that are going by and all that data. We want to be thinking about, okay, who in the neighborhood, who in the private office park has access to that information? We want as few people as possible to have access to that information because do you want to know, to have your neighbors know you're going in and out all day long and where you're going, right? It's a tracking device. It's going to help solve crime, which it has, and that is good. I don't want crime. I want, if you do something, I want you to be captured. And at the same time, I don't really want to be tracked every time I go in and out of my neighborhood. And so we want to really be mindful and understand who has access to that information, how long are they keeping the feed, and what are they going to do with that information once they have it?
Right. So it definitely presents this a bit of a quandary. So if we, let's say we're going to buy a home in a development that has flock cameras, or we live in a development now that's going to introduce flock cameras, what can people do to make sure that their concerns are heard and that we're also being mindful of crime? And you know, what else should they be worried about?
The first is I would ask, who is the administrator of that camera? Because like I said, you put it up in that area and then you have an account to be able to control that. So who's managing that? How many people are rotating through? I served on my home association board, right? Who's going to roll through that and have access to that information? And how long will they keep it? Those are going to be some of the first pieces, is make sure that the neighborhood has some controls around that information. If you're listening and you feel like this makes you uncomfortable, Flock does have some privacy controls in place, and I encourage you to go to Flock's website and you can go through their different privacy settings where you can essentially try and opt out of the program. And if your neighborhood is using a different program or they're looking at maybe a Flock alternative, I would encourage that conversation to say, what are the privacy controls for someone who doesn't want to have that information being tracked and collected at all times?
I always like to know, what questions should I be asking? So that's good advice. Other than flock cameras, what other things might be happening in the future? Let's say, you know, big topic right now, insecurity with schools.
Well, in the school environment, we have obviously safety. That's an entire conversation. We also have student data, and we also have tracking of cameras that are in schools, also trying to, you know, deter crime. But now we have our kids and all of their movements in what is also happening. If we zero in a little bit on the data side, we have schools using technology all the time, and our smart devices. Many schools have Google Chromebooks or iPads, laptops, those often have geolocation settings. And they're using third parties, other apps, Google, as well as many other educational technology apps. And we as parents want to understand who in the school system has access to this data, who are these third parties that the school is asking us to use, and again, what kind of controls do I have about my child so that I can protect my child's data and understand what's actually happening with that information, because not all of it will always be covered by some of the student privacy laws.
Right. And so this just brings up a very important point that we need to be proactive about our data and about what information that we're allowing other people to have. And so I'm sure that we're going to have many more conversations about security in the future, about video cameras, about who has access to our data and our kids' data. So this is a great conversation to put it at the forefront. Jody, thank you so much.
Thank you. I really appreciate the opportunity, and I have to agree completely. It's all about being proactive and knowledgeable. Knowledge is power.
There we go. Thank you.
And stay tuned because we're fixing your damaged devices. We head to G Wireless next.